Welcome back to another video on Logbook Pro and getting the most out of your software. In this video segment, we're going to take a look at the file operations, such as new, open, save as, the delete operation. We'll take a look at password protecting your database. We'll look at archiving, which include backing up and restore, database utilities, compact, and repair. The File New option is only available on the Enterprise Edition software versions. You can purchase an upgrade if you have the standard or professional. You can always move up to a higher edition instantly by purchasing the upgrade key from https://secure.nc-software.com. The Enterprise Edition allows multiple pilots to use Logbook Pro, so you can create an unlimited number of data files. By clicking the File New, you will have the option to specify the new data file. Logbook Pro will create a blank new data file for use, and it will be activated at the same time. The Open option is available in the Professional and Enterprise Edition because of the Clone and Sync option, or the Synchronize wizard, that is available in the Professional and higher versions. So you can open the clone or open the master and do any file operations or any logbook work that you need to do in either of those two data files. The Save As operation is actually a renaming operation. It is not going to leave the original file and create a copy of it and make a new file, as some applications do in the File Save As operation. In fact, what Logbook Pro is going to do is prompt you for a destination and file name, and then it's going to take your source, which is the currently open data file, and rename it and relocate it. Okay, but after this operation, the source, your original, will no longer be visible because it has been moved, including all the data, to the target location. The delete logbook operation is just that. You click File Delete Logbook, you will then be presented with the .lbk, or the logbook file that you wish to delete. You will then be prompted as to whether or not you want to delete that file, and then if so, and it is your currently in use file, such as your standard or professional edition users, Enterprise, you can actually use the file delete and delete other logbook data files. You can also delete backups. If you change to the .back, the extension for the backup files, you can actually go in and manage some of your backup files if you want to use this dialog to delete those. If you delete the currently in use logbook, you will then be presented after the logbook has been deleted, which is an unrecoverable operation, so make sure you in fact want to delete your data file. When Logbook Pro realizes it has no data file to work with, it will present you with a dialog to create a new data file, open an existing one, or restore from a backup. So the delete operation is a permanent one-time operation, so make sure you pay attention to what you're doing. As far as password protection, you can assign a password to a data file. When you open Logbook Pro and there is a password assigned, Logbook Pro will present you a password dialog, which you will have to fill in the password to get into the data file. If you want to clear that password, you will put in your old password and then leave new and confirm password blank. Then hit OK, your password will be removed. If you want to create a password, you don't have a password existing, so you leave old password blank, put in your new password, blah, 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 confirm it, and then hit OK, and at that point forward, when you open up Logbook Pro, it will require a password to access the data file. If you're an Enterprise Edition user, this occurs when you open a specific data file. So if you have a data file by the name of 1, and then 2, and then 3, and 1 has the password, when you open the 1.lbk file, that is when you'll be presented with a password. It is data file specific, not program specific. You are not password protecting the use of Logbook Pro. In the File Archive menu, probably one of the most important things with your software or your data is to have a plan to keep it backed up at a frequent interval, whether it's weekly or monthly or daily or every use. Remember, in the options backup area, there's actually the option to have Logbook Pro backup on exit. At least it will prompt you with a dialog. You can cancel out at that time if you don't wish to do a backup at that time. But also, the backups are significantly reduced in file size. They do use zip-compatible compression, so they're highly compacted and compressed. So your large data file, which could be several megs, which you may not think is going to fit on a floppy, typically will fit on a 1.44 floppy. You can also back it up to a zip disk However, if you're going to back up to a CDR, CDRW, or even a floppy for that matter, the best practice is to back it up to your hard drive, then take it from your hard drive using Windows Explorer and copy it to a floppy or copy it to a CDR using your burning software, etc. So it's best to back it up to your hard drive and then manually move it to the external media for best practices. Once you click the file backup, you'll be presented with the option to compact the data file. It is recommended that you always compact the data file. It will optimize your data file, and in doing so, significantly reduce it in size if you haven't compacted, say, within the last month. So you'll see, actually, anytime you use a Logbook Pro data file, it is going to inflate. It's going to get bigger every time you use it and add data to it. And by compacting, it will help keep that file growth under control. It's just the nature of databasing. So go ahead and click yes, and it's a very fast operation. This is a very large logbook data file, and you can see that it actually compacted in no time flat. If you have the option configured, Logbook Pro will append the date value to the end of the file name. This will help you keep track of when you created your backup, so you have a quick reference to do so, to tag your file name. You can turn that off, or you can come in here and you can modify it manually. Maybe I want to take off that extension and create the backup. Click the backup button. You can see the progress indicator at the bottom of the screen as it is actually compacting the data. And then it will tell you that the backup is complete, and then you can actually restore that data file if you so choose. There's the one we just created. Let's take a look at the file size. We're down to just over a meg, and that file size on that data file is in the neighborhood of 10 megs plus. So you can see we've got a significant compression. You can go ahead and click File, Archive, and then Restore to restore any type of backup. Realize it is going to overwrite your current backup unless you're using an Enterprise Edition, in which you have a little more control over the restore operation. So beware that you don't restore an older data file over newer data, because that's what you're going to end up with. So back up prior to restoring, and back up to a location and file name that you can remember. As far as database utilities, you can manually compact your database at any time. Logbook Pro is also going to remind you to do this monthly unless you disable those reminders. So it is recommended to compact at least every 30 days. Now, there's no reason to compact daily. It's not going to do much good. But if you can compact monthly or anytime you do a backup, then that is going to be a good practice. If you're having problems, which we have yet to require this operation since Logbook Pro was released in 1998, but if tech support advises you to run this repair database routine, then go ahead and do it at that time. Otherwise, there's no reason to click that option. That concludes what we set out to discuss in this video in the file and database operations, looking at the new logbook option, the open and save as operations, the ability to delete logbook data files as well as backups, which end in .bak, looking at password protecting of your data files, and your archive and database utilities. Thank you for watching this video.